The dead man called me after his murder. At 2:43 in the morning, my phone rang. Nobody calls at 2:43 with good news. At that hour, Greyford settles into a silence that is never peaceful. It is only waiting. I was awake because sleep had become a negotiation I usually lost. Rain tapped steadily against the windows. The number on the screen was hidden. I answered. "This is Hayes." For 2 seconds, there was only breathing. Then a man spoke. His voice was low, controlled, and frightened in a way men try to hide when they know fear will not help them. "Mr. Hayes," he said, "when you find me, do not believe my wife." I sat up. "Who is this?" A sound came through the line, metal scraping against wood, then a faint electronic hum. The man breathed again. "They will make it look simple. Where are you? You already know the place." "I do not." "Yes," he whispered. "You do." The line crackled. I heard something in the background, a bell maybe, one soft chime. Then the man said my name again. Not Hayes. Walter. The way he said it made something old move inside me. Not recognition exactly. More like a door opening in a house I had tried to forget. "Who are you?" I asked. The voice dropped to almost nothing. "Ask Mercer about the girl in the blue coat." Then the call ended. I stared at the phone. No number. No caller ID. No trace except the time. 2:43 a.m. I called back, knowing it would fail. It did. By 3:10, I had written down every word I could remember. By 3:45, I was still looking at the name Mercer. David Mercer had been my partner for 6 years, and the reason I left homicide. We had not spoken in 12 years. At 7:18 that morning, Detective Lena Ortiz called. Lena's voice carried police corridors, cold coffee, and the disappointment of good people working inside bad systems. "Walter," she said, "I have a dead man with your name in his desk." "Good morning to you too. Do you know Nathan Crawford?" "No. He owns an antique shop on Galloway Street." "Owned." A pause. "That is why I called." I looked at the rain moving down the glass. "What happened?" "Gunshot to the chest, locked office, no forced entry. Wife found him at 6:30. "Suicide?" "Maybe. But there is an envelope in the top drawer addressed to you." I stood up. "What time did he die?" "The medical examiner's preliminary estimate is between 1:50 and 2:15. I looked at the phone log on my screen. 2:43. "Lena," I said, "do not touch his phone." Another pause. "Why?" "Because he called me after he was dead." Crawford Antiques occupied a narrow brick building on Galloway Street. Inside, the air smelled of dust, furniture polish, and dead people's possessions. Antique stores are graveyards with price tags. Lena met me near the back. She wore a dark coat and the tired expression of someone who had been right too early. "You look terrible," she said. "You look official." She led me through a narrow hallway into Nathan Crawford's office. The room had one door, one painted shut window, and a heavy oak desk. Nathan Crawford sat behind it. He was 60, maybe a little older. Gray hair, thin face, dark vest over a white shirt, a single bullet wound in the left side of his chest. A revolver lay on the floor beside his right hand. The door had been locked from the inside when his wife arrived. Patrol had forced it open. The key was still in the lock. I looked at the window. Painted shut for years, Lena said. No sign of tampering. Vent? Too small. Fireplace? Sealed. I moved around the desk. Nathan's eyes were open. There was no despair in them, only surprise. What did the wife say? I asked. Evelyn Crawford. She says he had been paranoid for weeks, checking locks, recording conversations, accusing people of following him. Did she hear the shot? She slept at their house in West Greyford. He stayed here overnight. He did that often when working on appraisals. Who called it in? She did. Came here at 6:30, found the front door unlocked, office locked. Gun registered to him? Yes. Powder residue? Lab is working. I looked at Nathan's right hand. There was a faint red line across the inside of his index finger. Not blood. Pressure. Something thin had cut into the skin. Where is his phone? Lena pointed to the desk. A black smartphone lay beside a brass lamp. I put on gloves and checked the recent calls. Nothing to me. No outgoing call at 2:43. No deleted entry that I could see. Could be an internet call, Lena said. Could be. She handed me a clear evidence sleeve. Inside was an envelope. Walter Hayes was typed across the front. I opened it. There was no letter. Only a small brass key and a card with 3 words printed in block letters. The Blue Room. The words were ordinary. The way they hit me was not. Lena watched my face. You know it. I know the phrase. From where? I looked toward Nathan Crawford. An old missing person case. How old? 20 years. Lena waited. I did not continue. She was too good a detective to push. Silence is not empty. It is pressure. What about the call? She asked. I told her. Every word. When I reached the part about Mercer, she stopped taking notes. David Mercer? Yes. Your old partner? Yes. The one who retired after the evidence scandal? He did not retire. He was encouraged to disappear. What girl in a blue coat? I looked at the brass key. Her name was Emily Vale. 20 years earlier, 17-year-old Emily Vale left her mother's apartment wearing a blue wool coat and never came home. Mercer and I worked the case. We found no body, no arrest, no answer. Only a basement room in the abandoned Bellwether Hotel. Blue wallpaper, blue carpet. One chair beneath a broken light. The Blue Room. There had been blood beneath the carpet. Not enough for certainty. Enough for nightmares. The evidence vanished before it reached the lab. Mercer blamed a property clerk. The department blamed paperwork. I blamed Mercer because he lied about where he had been that night, and I had spent 6 years learning the shape of his lies. Lena leaned against the desk. Nathan Crawford was connected to Emily Vale? I do not know. Then why did he have your name? I do not know that either. You are saying that a man you never met called you after his estimated time of death, named your former partner, referenced a cold case, and left you a key. That is what I am saying. She exhaled. I hate cases like this. No, you do not. No, she said. I really do. Evelyn Crawford waited in the apartment above the shop. She was 55, carefully dressed, with a face that looked composed because it had practiced. She held a cup of tea but did not drink. Lena introduced me. At my name, something flickered in Evelyn's eyes. You know me, I said. No. You reacted. My husband mentioned you. When? A week ago. What did he say? That if something happened, you would understand. I do not. She looked toward the floor. That sounds like Nathan. Did he believe someone wanted to hurt him? He believed many things. That was not my question. Her fingers tightened around the cup. Yes. Who? He would not say. Did he mention David Mercer? The cup stopped moving. That was enough. Lena saw it too. Evelyn set the cup down. My husband collected more than antiques, she said. He collected secrets, old letters, police records, private recordings, things people thought were gone. Why? Because secrets increase in value. You mean blackmail. I mean Nathan liked leverage. Did he blackmail Mercer? I do not know. You are lying. Her face hardened. You walk into my home while my husband is dead downstairs, and you call me a liar? I call people what the evidence calls them. Lena stepped in before the room could sharpen further. Mrs. Crawford, where were you between 1 and 3 this morning? At home. Alone? Yes. Can anyone confirm? No. Did you speak to your husband? At 11:40. He said he would sleep at the shop. Was he upset? He was always upset lately. About what? Evelyn looked at me. He had found something. What? A recording. What kind? He would not let me hear it. But he told you about it. He said it could destroy a former police officer. Mercer? He never gave me the name. I took out the brass key. Do you recognize this? Her face changed again. Not fear this time. Anger. That opens a deposit box. Where? Greyford Central Station. The station's lower level still held rows of old coin lockers from the years when people trusted metal boxes more than cloud storage. Locker 214 accepted Nathan's brass key. Inside was a canvas satchel. Inside were 3 cassette tapes, a digital recorder, and a folded photograph. The photograph showed Emily Vale outside the Bellwether Hotel with a younger Nathan Crawford, David Mercer, and Councilman Richard Halden. Halden had died 8 years earlier. Emily wore her blue coat and was not smiling. On the back of the photograph, someone had written, October 14th, 2 days before she disappeared. Lena held it under the station light. You never saw this? No. Crawford was part of the case. He was never interviewed. He should have been. Yes. At Major Crimes, we found the tapes labeled Blue Room, Halden, and a date. The digital recorder contained 1 file. Lena played it. Nathan Crawford's voice filled the room. My name is Nathan Elias Crawford. If this recording is being heard, I am either dead or I have lost control of the material I collected concerning the disappearance of Emily Vale. He paused. I was present at the Bellwether Hotel on the night of October 16th, 2006. Emily was alive when I arrived. She was frightened. Richard Halden was there. David Mercer was there. There was an argument. Emily threatened to go to the press. My hands went cold. Nathan continued. Mercer told me to leave. I did. That is the truth I have told myself for 20 years. It is not the whole truth. His voice became softer. I heard her scream before I reached the stairs. I did not go back. The file ended. Lena looked at me. You were never told Mercer knew Halden? No. Was Halden a suspect? Not officially. Unofficially? Emily volunteered in his campaign office. We questioned him once. Mercer handled most of it. Halden had an alibi. Who confirmed it? Mercer. Lena put the first cassette into an old player. Static. Then Emily's voice. You said nobody would get hurt. A man answered. Halden. You are confused, Emily. I copied everything. Another male voice cut in. Mercer. Tell us where the copies are. I sent them. To whom? Emily laughed once. It was not amusement. It was terror wearing a mask. You will find out. There was movement, a chair scraping, a sharp sound. Then Nathan Crawford's younger voice. David, this was not the agreement. Mercer answered. You should not have come here. The tape ended abruptly. Lena stopped the player. What did Emily copy? I do not know. The second tape documented Halden's bribes and zoning deals, but nothing directly about Emily. The third tape was stranger. It was a recording of Mercer and Nathan from 3 weeks earlier. Nathan sounded older, but not afraid. I have enough to reopen the Vale case. Mercer replied, Then do it. You think prison does not matter because you are old? I think you have spent your life selling the truth in pieces. I only need one buyer. What do you want? $200,000. Mercer laughed. You waited 20 years to become brave, Nathan. Do not confuse that with being good. Nathan's voice sharpened. Tomorrow night, Crawford Antiques. Bring the money. The recording ended. We need Mercer. We need to find him before he knows we have this. She checked her phone. His registered address is in North Greyford. Too easy. Most arrests are. Not Mercer. David Mercer's house in North Greyford was unlocked and empty. Inside, everything was not merely clean. It was departed clean. The closets were half empty, the desk wiped. A train schedule lay on the kitchen counter. Greyford to Montreal. Departure, 8:10 a.m. It was already 9:32. Lena called transit police. Mercer had removed photographs, files, and computers, but left a framed commendation on the wall. Officer David Mercer and Detective Walter Hayes, recognized for courage under fire. The photograph showed us younger, standing side by side. He had drawn a black line through my face. Walter, Lena called from the kitchen. Transit police had found Mercer's ticket scanned at 7:58, but station cameras showed no clear image. The man who used it wore a cap and medical mask. He is gone, she said. No, he boarded. Someone boarded. You think he used a decoy? I think he left the train schedule where we would find it. Lena's phone rang. She answered, listened, then looked at me. Lab results. The revolver had Nathan's fingerprints. Powder residue on his right hand. Bullet matched the weapon. So suicide, she said. No. Walter. He did not call me after killing himself to accuse Mercer and his wife at the same time. Maybe the call was pre-recorded. Then why? To trigger us. Exactly. She understood. The killer wanted us to find the locker. Yes. And the tapes. Yes. But if Mercer killed him, why lead us to evidence against Mercer? Because the evidence is incomplete. I thought about the words on the phone. Ask Mercer, not accuse him. It was a path someone wanted us to follow. Where is Evelyn? I asked. Lena called the officer assigned to her. Evelyn Crawford had left the apartment. She said she needed air. She had been gone 20 minutes. We found her car abandoned near the river. the driver's door open and her purse still inside. There was no blood and no sign of struggle. On the dashboard was a phone. Not hers, a cheap prepaid device. It rang as we approached. Lena reached for it. I stopped her. The screen showed a blocked number. I answered on speaker. Nathan Crawford's voice said, "Walter, you are running out of time." Lena and I looked at each other. The voice continued, "My wife knows where the original is." "Where is she?" I asked. "Where you failed the first time." The call ended. The Bellwether Hotel had been demolished 15 years earlier, but its basement remained beneath a fenced construction lot. Lena called for units. I went through a gap in the fence before she could tell me not to. The old stairwell was hidden beneath corrugated metal. Cold air rose from below. The basement smelled of wet concrete, mold, rust, and memory. Our flashlights moved over broken walls and collapsed pipes. The blue room waited at the end of the corridor, its wallpaper hanging in strips. Evelyn sat against the wall with her wrists tied. Alive. Her mouth was taped. Beside her stood David Mercer. He held a pistol pointed at the floor. He looked older than the man in the photograph, but not weaker. Gray hair, broad shoulders, the same calm eyes that had watched suspects lie for years. "Put it down," Lena said. Mercer looked at me. "You came. You knew I would. I hoped. Did you kill Nathan?" "No." "Did you take Evelyn?" "Yes." "Why?" "To keep her alive." Evelyn made an angry sound behind the tape. Mercer glanced at her. "She does not believe me either." Lena kept her weapon trained on him. "Drop the gun." "If I drop it, the man watching this place will know." "Who?" Mercer pointed toward the ceiling. A tiny camera sat between two pipes, its red light blinking. "Who was watching?" I asked. Mercer's jaw tightened. "Nathan's son." Evelyn closed her eyes. "Nathan had a son?" I asked. Mercer nodded. "Gabriel Crawford, 22, a software engineer specializing in voice systems. He helped Nathan digitize the archive." Lena said, "Nathan had no children listed. Not with Evelyn." Mercer's voice was bitter. "Gabriel's mother was Emily Vale." I looked at Mercer. "Emily had a child. You knew?" "Yes." "Where is Emily?" Mercer looked at the floor. "Dead." I had known it for 20 years. Knowing is not the same as hearing. "What happened that night?" I asked. Mercer did not answer immediately. Evelyn struggled against the rope. Lena moved toward her. The camera blinked. Mercer raised his pistol slightly. "Do not." He said the building would burn if anyone untied her before I told the truth. "You believe him?" "He wired Nathan's shop." "Did he trigger it?" "No. He wanted the police to see the scene." "Then he wants an audience." Mercer looked at me. "He wants you." A hidden speaker crackled, and Nathan Crawford's voice filled the room. "Not Nathan," I said. "Very good, Mr. Hayes." "Gabriel." I looked toward the camera. "You called me." "Yes." "Using Nathan's voice." "Yes." "You killed him." A pause. Then Gabriel said, "I executed a sentence." Evelyn shook her head violently. "Where are you?" Lena asked. "That is not important." "It will be." "I hope so." The speaker gave a soft electronic hum, the same hum I had heard at 2:43. Gabriel continued, My father built his life by preserving the worst moments of other people. He kept recordings of crimes, affairs, bribes, confessions. He told himself he was protecting the truth. He was only waiting for the price to rise. You killed him because he blackmailed Mercer. I killed him because he sold my mother's death. Mercer's face tightened. What does Evelyn know? I asked. She knows where Nathan hid the original tape, the full recording, not the edited copies he used for leverage. You want the tape, I said. I want the truth heard. You killed a man for evidence you still do not possess. I killed a man who watched my mother die and profited from it. I looked at Nathan's widow. And you blamed Evelyn. She helped him. Evelyn shook her head again. Remove the tape from her mouth, Gabriel said. Lena stepped forward and removed the tape from Evelyn's mouth. She gasped. You monster, she said. Gabriel laughed through Nathan's voice. That was the worst part. Tell them, he said. Evelyn's eyes filled, but her voice stayed hard. I did not help Nathan kill anyone. No, Gabriel said. You only helped him hide the recordings. I was afraid of him. You were married to him for 18 years. You think that means I was not afraid? Where is the original? I do not know. A timer appeared on a small screen near the camera. 10 minutes. Counting down. Lena scanned the ceiling. Bomb? Mercer said. Gas line. He showed me the valves on video. Gabriel spoke again. When the timer reaches 0, this room burns. Unless Evelyn tells the truth. This was not really about evidence. It was theater. A courtroom where Gabriel controlled the clock, the voices, and the verdict. Nathan had controlled the story in life. Now his son wanted to control it in death. Gabriel, I said, you do not need the tape. I do. No, you need Mercer to confess. The timer showed 9 minutes, 32 seconds. Mercer looked at me. I kept my eyes on the camera. You built the voice call. You staged Nathan's death. You led us to the locker. You planted the train schedule. You brought us here. Every step points to Mercer. Yes. Because you want him to say what happened. You could have killed Mercer, but you did not. Mercer said, he wants me alive long enough to destroy myself. No, he wants to know which version is true. The timer reached 8 minutes. Gabriel's voice returned. Ask him. I turned to Mercer. What happened to Emily? For the first time in 20 years, I saw fear in Mercer without disguise. She found records showing Halden had taken bribes from developers, Mercer said. Nathan had helped arrange payments through shell companies. Emily copied the ledgers. Why was she at the hotel? Halden told her he would pay for the documents. And you? I was working for him. Lena's face hardened. You were a police officer. Yes. What kind of work? Information, names of complainants, inspection schedules, which detectives could be pressured. I felt something inside me settle into place. All the lies, all the missing evidence, all the nights Mercer had claimed procedure when he meant protection. Emily threatened to expose all of you, I said. Yes. What happened in the blue room? Mercer looked at the floor. Halden grabbed her. She fought. He struck her. She fell against the radiator. Was she alive? Yes. Then what? Nathan panicked. He wanted to call an ambulance. Evelyn closed her eyes. Mercer continued. Halden said an ambulance would end everything. His career, the contracts, all of us. What did you do? I told Nathan to leave. And Emily? The timer showed 6 minutes, 40 seconds. Say it, Gabriel whispered. Mercer looked directly into the camera. I suffocated her. Evelyn began to cry. Lena's weapon lowered by an inch. I did not move. Mercer's voice broke only once. I used a cushion from the chair. Halden held her wrists. What did you do with the body? I asked. We moved her through the service tunnel to Halden's car. He had access to a construction site at the North Harbor. Where? Pier 9, beneath the old concrete foundation. Emily had been beneath Greyford all this time while traffic passed above and the city kept moving. Why did the evidence disappear? I asked. I took it. You let me search for 2 years. Yes. You stood beside her mother and told me we had done everything. I know. You know the words. That is not the same thing. The timer reached 5 minutes. Gabriel spoke. The confession is recorded. Then stop the timer, I said. No. You have what you wanted. I still need the tape. No. Mercer just confessed. Mercer lies. So did Nathan. So does Evelyn. So do I. That is why you built this machine, because you do not trust human voices anymore. The timer showed 4 minutes, 30 seconds. I stepped closer to the camera. You cloned your father's voice because you thought truth would sound stronger coming from a dead man. Gabriel said nothing, but the voice made a mistake. What mistake? At 2:43, it said my name. I programmed it to say your name. No, you programmed it to say it the way Mercer did. Mercer looked up. I continued. You trained the model on old recordings from the case, interviews, police tapes, Mercer saying my name. That is why I recognized it. The timer reached 4 minutes. You built this from an archive. You know files, not which pauses were fear or what your mother sounded like when she was tired. Gabriel's voice sharpened. I know what they did. Yes. And now the city will know. If you burn this room, the city will know you killed Evelyn and Mercer after getting a confession. They will call you unstable. They will question every file you release. Your father's lawyers will call the recordings manipulated. Mercer's confession will die inside the smoke. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Lena glanced at me. She understood what I was doing. Not solving, buying doubt. Turn off the gas, I said. No. Then send the original tape to Lena. Evelyn looked at me. Gabriel was silent. You have it, I said. Evelyn's eyes changed. There, a reaction. Tiny, but enough. You already found the original. The speaker crackled. No. Yes. This was never about Evelyn telling you where it was. You wanted to know whether she had made a copy. The timer reached 2 minutes, 40 seconds. I turned to Evelyn. Where is the copy? She said nothing. Tell him, Gabriel said. I watched Evelyn. Nathan trusted lockers, I said. Physical keys, places away from networks. Her eyes flicked toward my coat, the brass key. No, I said. Locker 214 was a decoy. The key had opened it, but Nathan collected keys, locks, and hidden compartments. I remembered the thin red line on Nathan's finger and the soft bell I had heard during the call. The shop's front doorbell. The call had been generated there after Nathan's death. Gabriel had staged everything. And if the original tape was in the shop, police would already have it, unless it was hidden inside an object no one had examined. Nathan's desk, I said. Evelyn looked up. The brass lamp. Her face collapsed. Gabriel said nothing. The base is hollow, Evelyn whispered. He kept one tape inside. Lena touched her radio. No signal underground. The timer showed 1 minute, 48 seconds. Gabriel, I said, the police have the lamp. They do not know. They will. 1 minute, Lena said. No. Mercer raised his gun toward the camera. Do not, I told him. He is going to kill us. No, he wants us to think like him. The timer reached 50 seconds. Gabriel, I said, your mother was murdered by men who decided the truth mattered less than their fear. Do not make the same decision. 30 seconds. Evelyn started praying. Mercer closed his eyes. 10 seconds. The speaker hissed. 5, 4, 3. The timer stopped. Nothing happened. Only the sound of 4 people breathing. Then Gabriel spoke in his own voice. A young man's voice. Tired. Empty. The file has been sent. Lena's phone vibrated as signal returned for a moment. An incoming message. A location. Industrial storage facility. East Docks. Unit 36. Is that where you are? I asked. No. Where are you? Where my mother is. The line went dead. The North Harbor redevelopment had buried old Pier 9 beneath concrete and storage yards. Gabriel stood near the foundation at dawn, thin and dark-haired in a black raincoat. He looked less like an avenger than a man who had forgotten to eat. Police units surrounded the yard. Gabriel held a phone, but no visible weapon. I approached alone. You found me, he said. You wanted to be found. Maybe. Where is the body? He pointed toward a section of cracked concrete marked with faded construction paint. My father's recording gave the coordinates. Your father helped bury her? He drove the second car. Then why did he keep the truth? Insurance. Gabriel looked toward the police. Mercer confessed? Yes. Evelyn? Alive. He nodded once. I did not want her dead. You tied her beneath a gas line. I needed her to speak. That is what Mercer told himself 20 years ago, that he only needed your mother to give him the copies. Gabriel looked at me. I am not him. No. But you were walking toward him. He lowered his eyes. Did Nathan beg? I asked. Gabriel's face tightened. He tried to bargain. How did you stage the suicide? He kept the revolver in the desk. I made him hold it. And the shot? I pulled the trigger with his hand around the grip. The locked door? I looped monofilament through the keyring, closed the door, and pulled from the hall until the key turned. Then I drew the line free. The cut came when Nathan grabbed it. The call? A voice model routed through a hidden device in the shop. Why me? My mother's notes mentioned you. She trusted me? She believed you were the only detective who kept asking after everyone else stopped. I looked at the concrete beneath us. I stopped too. Eventually. Yes. Police moved closer. Gabriel glanced at them. Will they find her? Yes. Will they believe the recordings? With Mercer's confession and the body, yes. And Nathan? They will know what he did. Gabriel's eyes filled, but he did not cry. I hated his voice, he said. When I was a child, I used to hear it through walls, always calm, always explaining why something terrible was necessary. So you used it. I wanted him to confess. But dead men only say what we make them say. He looked at the phone in his hand. I suppose that is why they are easier. Put it down. He did. Lena cuffed him without resistance. As they led him away, he turned back. Mr. Hayes. Yes? Was my mother afraid? I thought about the tape, about Emily's laugh, about the blue coat, about all the years we had reduced her to evidence, dates, and a photograph on a file. Yes, I said, but she was also brave. They found Emily Vale 3 days later, beneath 6 feet of concrete. Fragments of the blue coat remained, along with the silver bracelet her mother had described in 2006. David Mercer was charged with murder, conspiracy, evidence tampering, and corruption. Richard Halden was beyond trial. Evelyn attended Nathan's funeral alone. Gabriel was charged with murder, kidnapping, unlawful surveillance, and enough other crimes to make strangers think the case was simple. Nothing built over 20 years of silence is simple. Lena asked whether Gabriel had truly planned to kill us. I said I did not know. The truth was that he wanted the choice to belong to someone else. After a life trapped inside other people's decisions, he built a machine that forced the world to decide for him. The tape from Nathan's lamp contained the confrontation, the struggle, and then Nathan saying one sentence. We will say she ran away. That sentence lasted 20 years, long enough to become part of the city. Greyford had accepted it because cities prefer missing girls to murdered ones. Missing girls leave room for hope. Murdered girls require blame. A week later, I visited Emily's 81-year-old mother in the same apartment where the case had begun. I told her where Emily had been found. I told her there would be a proper burial. I told her about Gabriel. She listened, then asked, "Did he look like her?" "Yes." "That is something." Before I left, she gave me a photograph of Emily at 15, laughing beside the river. No blue coat, no fear, just a girl before the city learned her name. That photograph sits on my desk now. Sometimes, late at night, the phone rings, and I think of Nathan's voice. A dead man calling after his murder. But dead men do not call us from the other side. They do not reach through wires. They do not whisper through machines. The dead are quieter than that. It is guilt that learns their voices. And guilt, in Greyford, never forgets how to speak.